and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy specializes in a customized designed academic approach tailored to meet the needs of our families. Our lower division prepares students with the necessary foundation to build excellence. Our middle division provides students with over 15 course offerings, providing them with opportunities to explore their talents and gifts. Our upper division provides personalized academic journeys, allowing them to achieve their dreams. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us, where every path leads to purpose.
National headlines and the local stories you care about. WLBB, Carrollton, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
All right, time right now is 8:30. Good Thursday morning. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3. We are streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And this morning we're on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. You can see my lovely young guest who is already sitting across from me on the table. I shall introduce you to her right now. Commissioner Barbara Rivera Holmes. She is the Georgia Commissioner of Labor. She was appointed by Governor Brian Kemp, sworn in as the 11th Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Labor, April of 2025, becoming Georgia's first Latina constitutional officer. I'm going to have to ask how much that means to you. Holmes brings expertise in economic development, public policy, talent cultivation, and small business advocacy. Her public service includes appointments to the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia and the Georgia Rural Development Council, and she co-chaired the Georgia Innovates Task Force. Her work has earned a congressional commendation and honors from the Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Georgia Trend. Prior to her appointment, she served as president and CEO of the Albany. We'll discuss that area Chamber of Commerce. Earlier in her career, she was vice president of the Albany-Doherty Economic Development Commission and an award-winning journalist. So much stuff to talk about this morning. We're not even going to talk about what your job here, but she holds degrees in journalism and Spanish from Florida Southern College, and she's a native of San Juan, Puerto Rico, and she lives now in Albany with her family. Good morning. Good morning. And thank you for letting me roll through that introduction. So been on the job a little more than, not even a full year yet at this point. Not even a full year. And you got to go up for re-election already this year.
That's right, yeah.
Let me just, first of all, we'll joke about the Albany or Albany. On paper, it looks like Albany, thinking Albany, New York, but the folk from Albany might have a different way of saying that.
It's the number one question that I get when folks, and of course the fact that I'm from this great community in South Georgia, it comes up on every conversation. So folks are like, is it Albany or Albany? And that's when, and I share that with my friends back home, is that Albany, people know about our community all across the state. And for me, I'm a native Spanish speaker. I learned English when I was 7, which is when we moved stateside. So I feel comfortable saying Albany, but a true Southwest Georgian will put on the full Albany.
And I've been corrected several times over the last several years.
And I love that folks know that.
And I love saying it. I'd rather say Albany.
It's just fun. And what it is not, it's not Albany, though. Let's be very clear. That is way outside the acceptable range of what we can say.
Journalism, award-winning. Tell us about that. And why did you give up on this fine profession?
Oh, I have not given up. Once you're a journalist, you're always a journalist, right? That's a skill set that I use every single day. I love information. I love talking with people. I love distilling information and turning it into something that's usable. And so storytelling has been a part of my life. And so I studied journalism, still a writer, went straight into that career, print journalism in particular, and being able, again, to ask good questions, ask a lot of questions. Sometimes I have to give people the disclaimer that I'm going to ask a lot of questions, and then being able to listen intently and then again take that information and distill it into something that's usable, and to either to tell a story, to make decisions, to understand a project or a process or a situation. Those are skill sets I use every single day.
Sure. Well, I hope I don't disappoint you with my questions then. First one is, what is your favorite color? No, that's right. I'm going to go back.
It's yellow.
I did do some research this morning, a little bit last night. Went back and what you've again, less than a year that you've been part of this, but there are some things that you've been working with. You announced the replacement of the 1980s era unemployment system. Hope to have that done by fall of this year. Initially, that was the announcement. I guess describe the problems that may have been created because there was an older system in place, and are you still on pace for that? What will those upgrades mean to employees and to, I guess, clients?
Sure. So let me give you a primer on what we do at Labor first, just to give your audience a little bit of background, and then I want to talk about modernization. And so the Georgia Department of Labor, the way I view it, is really where opportunities begin. And so we have a portfolio that includes administering Georgia's unemployment insurance benefits, right? Those help stabilize our economy and give people breathing room while they're between jobs. It's not a lifestyle and it's not a job, right? But it is this breathing room, this stabilization for a limited number of weeks. We then work with that population, those folks that are looking for work, to help them and reconnect them to the jobs that are in the market. So it's this twofold piece in terms of job support, job matching. And then we also work on workforce policy, workforce development with the governor's office, our educational institutions as well. So making sure it's really that full spectrum of workforce labor support. Unemployment insurance benefits to stabilize the economy, give people breathing room, helping connect those citizens to jobs in Georgia, helping them with skills training, with resume building, job matching, and then working with partners on policy that helps align the educational system to the economy. When I came into office, using my journalism background, I did not sit in the boardroom in Atlanta, which is where we're headquartered, and just start writing what we were going to do. I got on the road. And I got in the car, and I've been going community by community, visiting, talking to employers, talking to our citizens, talking to our educators, our community leaders about what's happening in our communities on the ground. So I took all of that information, came back, and launched our agency's most comprehensive strategic plan. And through that strategic plan, we are overhauling and modernizing Georgia's unemployment insurance platform. And so the system through which we administer benefits and through which employers pay their unemployment insurance tax was built in 1986. And so we are here trying to do business at the speed of business. Meanwhile, our platform, right, we're using this platform that was created in the 1980s. And so this is a huge initiative, the modernization of that platform. It's the largest modernization effort of unemployment insurance in state history. And it is due to start migrating toward the end of 2026. And what that means for our claimants is faster claims processing so they can get the support that they need faster. It has fraud protection so that we can ensure that the folks that really need these services are the ones that are getting these services. And then it's a lot more user-friendly for our employers as well. And there's a lot more, of course, that goes into such an overhaul, but some of the highlights.
Yeah, well, during that process, is that going to affect, will there be a period, maybe 2 weeks, a month, to where it's really, really difficult to get stuff done, or it takes longer than it normally does? Or do you think that the transitions can be easy and smooth?
It's a large scale modernization, right? It's not a small modular product. It's a very large overhaul. We are taking very, very intentional steps on user training and also ensuring that when this project goes live, it has the functionality that our Georgians need.
Mm-hmm. Well, you went to places and talked to people about that. What kind of concerns were you getting about the Department of Labor? Was it that wait times, not be able to reach who they needed to reach? What were those concerns?
It's a little bit of everything. And here's what I have found. People are hungry for more services from the Georgia Department of Labor, but also faster services from the Georgia Department of Labor. And one of the things that I found when I came in and having these conversations, and then also speaking with our team members, we have roughly 800 team members across the state, and we have a network of 34 career centers throughout Georgia, is ensuring that we can provide faster service, that we have the tools to be able to do that, and that we are really creating an agency that is much more future-focused, forward-thinking, and resilient. All of that goes into how we work, right? We're not altering through our strategic plan today what we do. We are stabilizing the department. We are changing how we work. So processes, technology, speed, access, so that we can better serve Georgians. And when I took on this role, I promised the governor and the people of Georgia that I would do things in 3 phases. I would first do what's necessary. I would then do what's possible. And before long, we would be doing what people have said is impossible. And so we are on the necessary phase. We are reimagining how the Georgia Department of Labor functions. We are out in communities really sharing what we do, why it matters, and how it impacts everyday Georgians and employers to really get out there and be able to provide those resources.
And you were right, but to remind us what the Department of Labor does, because I think if you talk to somebody typically, maybe in the last 5 years, it's like they want to blame them for the high unemployment rate or something like that.
Can't blame us for high unemployment rates, right?
Yeah.
Certainly, but our job is to help Georgians, and that's what we wake up to do every single day, is help Georgians. Where we also can and do help is ensuring that we are communicating with educators so that the training programs in our state match the needs of business broadly at the state level, but even more detailed at the regional levels. And we work on that through our conversations with employers, but also as a member of the governor's Top State for Talent initiative, which has really focused on ensuring that we are creating programs that align to where the job growth is per region and where the wage growth is per region as well.
And where is the job growth per region? I mean, maybe in the whole state, whatever because it's not fair for me to ask you this region, I guess, but where's the job growth right now?
We continue to see growth in manufacturing and healthcare services and administrative services, logistics, and of course things are cyclical. So you may have a month where you have some contraction, you may have a month where you have some expansion. But the beauty of Georgia is that it is such a strong, diversified economy. You have down in Southwest Georgia, in Albany, where I live, you have very strong logistics and manufacturing and healthcare. You have aerospace in Middle Georgia. You have, of course, a global logistics industry over in Savannah. You have manufacturing here in this part of the state. And so you really have, in totality, an economy that is almost buoyant because it is not dependent on a single industry to keep moving forward.
Before we do take our first break, you just touched on fraud. I mean, what's an example of fraud? Is it as simple as we get 12 weeks
14,
benefit, 14 weeks of benefit? Say after 6 weeks, I got a job and I'm still getting the payment. Is that the level of fraud, or is there much higher than that?
It's a gamut, and there's some fraud that is what you've described. There's some fraud where it's misclassification by employers, either intentionally or unintentionally. If it's unintentional, of course, we work with them to help resolve that. And so when you misclassify employees, you may pay a different tax, unemployment tax. And so it's really, there's different levels, but overall fraud is taking advantage of a system that is and resources that aren't for you, and doing so intentionally. And so we have tax auditors, and then we have tax agents as well. And so we work with those on our team to help ensure that we can detect fraud first, and then we can recover on the back end as needed.
Do you know the numbers of the fraud maybe committed in previous years, or over the last decade, or anything?
I don't have that information, no.
Time right now is 8:42. We'll take our first break, come back and continue our conversation with Barbara Rivera Holmes. She is a Georgia Commissioner of Labor. She is seeking re-election this year. She was just appointed last year, been in office for 1 year, and clearly knows a little bit about what she's talking about if you paid attention to this first segment. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post those to the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, and I'll take a look at those during the remainder of our program. Again, 8:43. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is a vibrant community built on innovation, academic excellence, and a 64-year legacy of shaping community leaders. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, inviting you to visit the mountain and experience firsthand the passion, purpose, and personalized education that defines our school. Come see how our mission and vision come to life each day. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
8:44. Welcome back to the Community Voice. My name is Carolyn Worthington. My guest is Barbara Rivera Holmes. She is Georgia Commissioner of Labor, and she's on this morning's Community Voice. I believe you have a schedule for today. Probably won't, but you'll be around today. I mean,
yes,
you have several stops in the area.
I am. Yes, I'll be in Carroll County all day. I'm excited about it.
Are small businesses still struggling to find workers? I mean, it felt like after COVID that it was, you couldn't get people to go back to work, and it could have been because, the benefits that were put out there and people didn't want to go to work. But are we still seeing small businesses having problems finding people?
We're still seeing that businesses in general are faced with challenges when it comes to finding labor. And the interesting thing is that we have 65,000 unfilled jobs in Georgia, and we have people that want to work. And so this goes back to the conversation we were having earlier about making sure that we're building a workforce that has the skills that meet the needs of business. Because if we're training people in areas, whether it's at the local level or if we think of it more broadly, for jobs that aren't in those areas, we're training people to go work somewhere else or to not be able to go into their pathway. So we see that. We also, and that's why, again, aligning, and you'll hear me say this so often, aligning education to the economy is so important. And that's a dynamic process. It's just like, oh, hey, we're going to do this one time and we're going to revisit it in 10, 15 years. No, the economy is moving at a rate that it's never moved at before in terms of the speed of change. And so this has to be something that is dynamic, and it is dynamic. So we're looking every year in partnership with the Technical College System of Georgia and the State Workforce Board on those indicators about where we are, where the economy is going, what training should look like. We're also, as through our new strategic plan, re-envisioning how we connect Georgians to employers. And so opening up those lines of communication so that they're stronger, so that, again, we understand the needs, and then really investing more in our re-employment services is a big component of our strategic plan.
I think nursing, probably one of the more popular jobs going on right now.
Healthcare professions in general is booming. And we have, it's no surprise, we have a healthcare shortage from a professional standpoint in general, everything from your entry-level healthcare professions to your doctors and your specialty doctors. And so through the Technical College System of Georgia, you've seen a lot in terms of standing up those programs. You've seen it at the University System of Georgia as well. In Albany, where I live, we piloted a program that is now gaining statewide interest, where students from our college and career academy, through the healthcare pathways, intern at Phoebe Putney Memorial Hospital. And so by the time they graduate high school, they have their CNA and they can go into the workforce with that credential. And so more innovative programs like that with respect to the healthcare workforce allow us to have that pipeline that is more robust and honestly is moving faster.
That's probably the most significant job, I would say, healthcare to fill, one that's lacking employees. Is there another field that's really lacking employees or positions to?
If you talk to any business, they're gonna. When I talk to accountants, they're short. When I talk to manufacturers, they need more technicians. When I speak with healthcare professionals, they need, whether it's phlebotomists or technicians or nurses or specialty doctors in our more rural areas. We're just seeing a crunch across the board. It's not unique to Georgia. We're seeing it across the country. Where Georgia stands out is the initiatives and the effort and the investments that Governor Kemp and the Georgia General Assembly have made, and that partners such as the Department of Labor, Technical College System, K through 12 University System have made to really work together to problem solve this along with the private sector.
Well, how are those businesses getting by then? I mean, are they at risk at losing those businesses if they can't, if they go so long without being able to replace somebody or to fill those positions? Or
I've not yet spoken with a business that is closed because of the talent gap. It's just there's a retention issue sometimes, and also when I speak with employers, and again my background is economic development. I led a large chamber for a decade. It's also ensuring that our employers have the right hiring practices, that they have the right screening practices, that they're really very detailed about the requirements that they need so that when they are hiring, they can hire the right fit earlier on.
Mm-hmm. We locally, we do talk a lot about the data centers. There's been a lot of issues over the last year with building here locally. People have had concerns. Is there a push on the state level? I mean, to educate people to prepare to work at those, or I guess anything similar with AI or computers, period?
There's a lot of conversation around the state around data centers and certainly around AI. Where I focus is, whatever the jobs are in Georgia, it's our responsibility to train a workforce that can fill those jobs. So when we think about the AI related jobs, it's ensuring today that we're training a workforce that can work in tandem with the computers and the robots. And what we're seeing this human collaboration with machines, which has been going on for a long time. Automation is not new. This is this fourth industrial revolution, fourth wave. And so training a workforce that is AI fluent, and there's obviously varying levels of that, but that can work in partnership with these new tools so that we can really continue to move forward, continue to make sure that Georgians have access to the right jobs. That's a big piece of that. And really that's for any industry, not just the AI driven jobs, but we can see that we're moving into an AI driven economy. And so whatever qualifier you want to put before economy, we need to make sure that we're training people to be able to succeed with the tools and the skills and the training in those jobs.
Now, does that training involve like working with the colleges and technical colleges, or do you guys do videos online or anything like that?
Right now we're working with our educational partners. We're also just listening a lot, and not, most businesses yet don't know what AI means for their business. So there's educating that we're doing with employers, but there's, again, a lot of questions that we're asking them. And you have some very large, sophisticated businesses that have an entire AI model as to how they're utilizing it, and you have businesses that don't. And so it's not new technology, but it's certainly an emerging technology. And so there's still just a lot of unknowns. So it's just kind of hazy, right? But we know that this is here. So the responsibility is to provide the resources, the training, the information.
8:52. We're going to take our final break, come back and conclude our conversation with Barbara Rivera Holmes. She is Georgia Commissioner of Labor. Again, if you have any questions or comments, post them to Facebook, and I will try to take a look at them here during the break. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Do the math. At Oak Mountain Academy, our average graduating class has just 12 students. We celebrate a 100% graduation rate with more than $10.5 million in college scholarships offered. Plus, 96% of our students are accepted into their top choice college. Do the math. Can you see the value of an OMA education? I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, and I'm here to help you do the math. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
852. Welcome back to the Community Voice. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest, Barbara Rivera Holmes. She is Georgia Commissioner of Labor. I got about 6 minutes left in this program. I did kind of talk to you a little bit about this before the show. We, monthly we get the stats, get these 4 data points on, how the jobs market is. One is unemployment rate, the job, the number of people in the workforce, the number of people actually working, and then the initial unemployment claims. To study those, to pay attention to those each month, what should we be looking for with those data? What can we expect? What will those numbers tell us?
No, thank you for that question. And the Georgia Department of Labor, beyond the resources and the programs that we talked about earlier with respect to unemployment benefits, workforce development, reentry programs, also is responsible for all of the state's labor market data. And so we have an entire division that's solely focused on producing, analyzing, and publishing these numbers that then help our citizens make decisions, our businesses make decisions, and our policymakers also make decisions. You really have to look at all of the components together. If you just look at one, unemployment, it's going to tell you one thing. What I look at is all 4 of them. I spend a lot of time also looking at the job growth. So Georgia's unemployment rate is 3.6% today. That's a slight uptick from the prior month, which was 3.5%. Some of that's cyclical and seasonal and of course the data always lags. So I'm looking at December numbers. And so you're going to see that fluctuation with temporary seasonal jobs. What we also have seen, and I want to say that Georgia's unemployment rate is nearly a full percentage point below the national unemployment. So we're doing things right in Georgia. But we've also had new job creation in every region across the state. And so when you look at those two, you can see that there's natural fluctuations. And so if you just look at one, it doesn't tell you the full picture, right? I always look at the job creation numbers because that tells me about the health of the business community. Are they creating jobs? Are they contracting jobs? And again, we look at this data every month, and you have to look at it in totality to understand the trends. And we have more Georgians working today than have ever worked. So we continue to put Georgians to work, continue to help connect them with mortgage-paying jobs, align education to the economy so that we have that job matching to what the businesses need, and we continue to see Georgia's economy grow.
I know I'm running out of time here with you. Found an article that you mentioned overhauling the agency communications to use plain language. Which to me, I'm thinking lawyer speak. Is it all just on the the website and things like that? It makes it difficult to navigate.
We have a lot of traditional lawyer speak language, yes, throughout the agency, which is honestly consistent with a lot of state agencies. It's important that our citizens understand the resources that are available to them from the Georgia Department of Labor, and that our businesses understand these resources and requirements as well. And so we have an entire working group that's just focused on translating, if you will, or transferring all of our agency documents, our forms, our web languages from a more formal legal speak to plain language. So that people can understand it. It's of no service to the people of Georgia if they don't understand what we're doing.
And I feel bad sometimes for.
It's also intimidating.
It is intimidating, but I feel bad to suggest that that you shouldn't work hard to get this benefit. But then, but if you're going to be discouraged if you can't, if you go over it once and it's just like, wow,
you need to understand it.
Yeah,
so
you're going to be discouraged. All right, we got about 3 minutes left here in the program. Again, Barbara Rivera Holmes, our guest, Georgia Commissioner of Labor. Anything that we didn't touch on that you think is important for West Georgia or the state of Georgia? If you want to break any news right now, is a good time to do that.
Breaking news. I can hear both of our journalism backgrounds. This has been a great morning here in West Georgia. And again, what I've enjoyed most about this job is certainly I can fix problems. Like, we're modernizing a legacy agency for the state of Georgia, and we're transforming it into something that is future focused, forward thinking, and resilient, trying very hard with our 800 members across the state to modernize so that we can work at the speed of business and deliver services faster, more clearly. We, before the strategic plan, where there is no vision, the people will perish. We have a vision now. And across the state, all of my team members know where we're going, how we get there, and what winning looks like for Georgians. So there's accountability, right? Which is something that is so important when you're running any organization, and certainly one with the size, responsibility, and impact of the Georgia Department of Labor. But ultimately, this transformation, this work is about people. It is about processes and platforms and technology and workflows, but it is about serving people better and providing them the resources and benefits that they need faster. And so my favorite part is being out in our communities, talking with our workers, visiting our employers, speaking with community leaders, being in our schools, really having the conversations. What are your needs? What are your opportunities? Tell me about the programs that you have in place locally that are driving this positive impact. And then let's look across the state and see if those can be replicated or scaled so that we have synergy and we can move forward faster together.
Are you going to make a stop at the local Department of Labor here in Carrollton?
Absolutely. We'll visit our friends.
Do they know that you're coming?
Sometimes it's a surprise. Sometimes it's not. Yeah.
Very good. Ma'am, it was great to meet you.
You as well.
And I wish you good luck with the campaign.
Thank
and
you.
Good luck of taking care of
November 2026.
That's it. Yeah. And you said qualifying is coming up in March.
Qualifying's first week of March, and I'll be on the ballot November 2026. Would be honored to have the support of our Carroll County residents and all of your listeners.
Very cool. Again, Barbara Rivera Holmes, Georgia Commissioner of Labor, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. If you missed any of it, it'll be available in its entirety at about 9:05 on podcast form on our website at newstalk1330.com. Of course, it'll be on Facebook till about 30 days till they decide to delete it, but it will be on YouTube forever as well, so you can go back and watch that. On tomorrow's program, we are celebrating a good friend of all of ours. Don Levins turns 95 years old this weekend, and I think many of you have seen Don on the show and talked to him plenty. He's a veteran. He was a businessman. He's got a heart of gold. And, again, 95 years old. So we're going to talk about his life. Make it part of that 200 years celebration of Carroll County. Put it into that program. So hope you'll tune in tomorrow morning as well, 8:30, right here on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.